I had AAA batteries up my butt for 24 hours.
Oh my God.
but not just AAA batteries. I had three AAA batteries,
Bro.
2 espresso pods,
And the fucking heat. That's just.
yes, in Australia. So we're on a balcony with a gorgeous sunset in Australia, and I'm butt naked. And I made this package, and this package ended up being way bigger than the one that I did in jail.
Oh my
like
God.
this thing is like this long, this wide,
Oh my God.
and I'm looking at this. I'm like, dude, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this, you know. Like, but I was like, I can't let the boys down.
Yeah.
You know, like, I gotta do this.
Yeah.
So I just lube up my butt and lube up the package, and I got that thing up there, and this is all on camera. Like, this is like I do a show now where I show people this, and so I get it up there, and he's just like, so let's celebrate. And so we're like, let's go out to dinner. So we go out to dinner with this thing still up my butt, and I'm walking around. I'm not in pain, but I'm uncomfortable, and I'm like trying to
totally.
like, you know, and trying to fix it, and nothing's happening. So I go to the bathroom, try poking at it, nothing's happening. I go back to the table, and when I went to go sit down, all of a sudden I feel
Oh my God.
where it just went all the way up there, where I couldn't feel it anymore.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the #1 mental health and addiction podcast, the Hopeaholics. I am your girl, Natalie Eva Marie, and these are my boys.
I'm Chad.
Hi, I'm Shane.
Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and follow us on our socials and wherever you get your podcasts.
Got a new episode dropping every Monday and Thursday. Please come check it out.
This episode is brought to you by the Infinity Group. You guys, if you or a loved one is suffering, please call us today. The number is right here on the screen. We are here for you 24/7. Now, let's get into the episode.
Skinny Vinny, welcome to the Hopeaholics
Yes.
podcast.
Oh, dude,
How about that?
Thank
That's,
you guys for having me.
that's how we
Absolutely.
do it.
Are we rolling?
Yes,
We're
we
rolling.
are.
All right, let's rock and roll.
Yes.
Sick. Cool.
You drove down from LA?
LA, Hollywood. Yeah.
Hollywood.
Yeah, it didn't take too long. I had to stop and charge, so that's why I was a couple minutes late.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah.
What are you driving?
Tesla
Nice.
Model Y.
And you had to charge it?
I had to charge it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So
You forgot to charge it last night.
Yes. Well, last night, it was a pretty busy night. One of my good friends, Tara Yummy, was celebrating her 2 million subscribers.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
So she rented out this spot in West Hollywood, and it was just star-studded, and it was kind of epic. But I'm a sober guy, so
Yeah.
and my girlfriend, she likes to party, and I've cheetah print on from head to toe last night, and I'm like tired by like 11:30.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to go straight home.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get out of there. I had to make an appearance and then leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
That's how I like to roll too.
Yeah, in and out.
In and out.
Yeah.
Like, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, you said your girlfriend likes to party. So you're
Yeah.
sober and she is not. So is she a
She's not.
normie?
She's a normie.
Okay.
Yeah,
How
she's-
is that for you?
I've had past relationships where it was the same thing, you know, they're normies. I mean, it's fine, you know. Okay, let me be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like a week or two ago, we went to this house party. It was like my homie's birthday, and so I just wanted to go support.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like a legit house party. And all of a sudden, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and people start bringing nitrous tanks. And nitrous was my thing back in the day.
Yeah.
And I didn't even see them come in. All of a sudden, I just start hearing,
Yep.
and I just like immediately, what was that? You know, because like the old me was just
Yeah.
like, oh my God. And this is the first time in sobriety where I was just like, oh,
wow.
I remember that. And she's like, can I get a balloon? I was just like, yeah, go for it. Like, I never want to be the person to like, I don't want you to stop doing you. Like, I've put in the work these last 7 years to be able to like handle this.
Sure.
And but this was the first time in the last 7 years where I was just like, oh shit, I kind of want one.
Right.
I didn't. And but yeah, it was a strange feeling because I haven't felt that in a long time.
Yeah.
And I loved nitrous.
What did you do in that moment?
I just sat in the corner. You know, I had my my water bottle that I bring everywhere,
Yeah.
and I just like chilled and I let her do her thing. You know, like I'm not a party guy anymore.
Yeah.
Like
That's hard.
you know, it's just not my scene. It's not my, you know, my whole focus is I have like a 1-track mind. It's like work,
Yeah.
and then I work out, work out, and it's just I just don't have time for that shit anymore. You know?
For sure.
And I'm 37 years old, and like all the dudes there and everybody there is like mid-20s, and probably the oldest dude there, and I'm just like, I have no place being here,
right,
you know.
right.
But I just had to support because he's my homie, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I get it. That's tough though. That's tough to be around, especially something that was at a particular moment in your life, like something that you enjoyed doing until it obviously wasn't fun anymore, and hence why you're sober now.
Yeah.
But shall we take it back? Like, find the nuts and the bolts? Like, where are you from?
I'm originally from Connecticut.
Okay.
So New Haven, Connecticut. Grew up very low class. Mom is an ex-junkie.
Okay.
Dad passed away when I was around 2. He got hit by a drunk driver while he was on his Harley. And this is crazy because I've never said this publicly, because I just found this out like about a month ago, and I've never said this publicly. So I thought my whole life, 37 years on this planet, I thought my dad died from an infection that started in his leg and grew to his heart from the accident and killed him. I'm in the process of writing a book, so I'm like talking to my sister, talking to all these people, trying to like take notes. I just found out he died from an overdose recently.
What?
Yeah. So like my whole life I thought it was an infection, grew to his heart, killed him. Now I know it was a overdose because he was prescribed all these pain meds from the accident.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So he passed away from an overdose. So I was a little resentful because my mom was like trying to hide that from me. I guess I don't know why. And you know, I talked to her about it, and she was just like, yeah, I just didn't want you to know that. And I was just like, Mom, like, you're a junkie, I'm a junkie.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
we're both grown. Like, please tell me. I don't care.
Right.
And yeah, then Mom was a pretty bad junkie. She has had 2 husbands. Both of them have died. My sister has a different father. And when my father passed, Mom got pretty bad with heroin.
Okay.
And I grew up like finding needles, baggies in her room. So I'm like young already knowing what this shit is. And it was just, my mom is what you call like a functioning addict.
Sure.
Somehow she was able to keep a full-time job at Yale University.
Wow.
While shooting dope. So I don't know how she did it. My hat goes off to her because I'm not that kind of junkie.
Sure.
Me.
And
Me
yeah, I can't keep anything.
No. Me
Yeah,
neither.
and so she did her best to try to support, and I remember this day like it was yesterday. She picked me up from school and she was nodding off at the wheel. I was like 10 years old, and I just started crying. And I gave her an ultimatum. I was like, yo, you need to stop getting loaded. And I'm 10 years old saying this. You need to stop getting loaded, or you're gonna lose me, just like you lost Dad. My sister's not in our life anymore. She ran away.
Oh my gosh.
So it's either you stop getting loaded or I'm gone too. I'm 10, and next day she got on the methadone program and never put another needle in her arm again.
Wow.
Granted, she's been on the methadone program for the last 30 years, but she stopped getting loaded.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How's your guys' relationship today?
Today it's it's way better.
Yeah.
I still think she's a little crazy. But who doesn't think that about their mom, you know? She never really, I'm an AA guy.
Yeah.
And the steps and everything, and it allowed me to like, get past the resentments, and her perspective of life is a little skewed.
Yeah.
And I can't be around that for a long period of time. I love her to death, obviously.
Sure.
But it's hard. And she's just a very negative person, and I can't, so I just have to like love her from a distance. Yeah. Like she just texted me while I was on my way here. She's like, "Are you ghosting me?" And I'm like, "No, Mom, I'm busy. Like I love you." But
for sure.
Yeah.
I do that to my kids though. I ask them if they're ghosting me. I don't say ghosted though. Like I say, "Are you ignoring me?"
Yeah.
Because I have one that ignores me intentionally all the time.
Yeah.
And it's because she's 16 years old. Though.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
She's not busy.
Yeah. I didn't even know my mom knew the term ghosting. Like I was kind of stoked on
Yeah,
that.
that's actually impressive.
Yeah.
Was your sister older or younger?
Older, and she's a normie.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah. I mean, I think she was a little better at seeing our family, because like my whole father's side, all like traditional Italian alcoholics.
Yeah.
My mother's side, all alcoholics, some drug addicts, and she just saw what it did, and she did a pretty good job of staying away.
Smart.
Me, I said the same thing. Like, oh, I saw what it did to Mom. I saw what it did to Uncle Vinny. I saw what it did. You know, so I said the same shit. I'm never doing it. But the second I try it, it's over. Like,
Oh, yeah.
It's
When,
game on.
when was that for you?
So, you know, the traditional fucking smoking weed at 15.
Yeah.
And me and my mom had such a close relationship at that time where I felt guilty I tried smoking weed, loved it. I was like, oh my God, I need to tell Mom.
Yeah.
Like, I feel bad. Like I have to tell on
Sure.
myself. And I did, and she was just, I don't care. You know, like, as long as you're not putting anything in your arms or up your nose, go for it. So I kind of took that and just ran with it. You know, like, anything I can get my hands on. And at that point, it was like, I was so, like, my passion and my, like, real addiction, even back then, was like attention.
Sure.
And creating. I had a video camera with me 24 hours.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, this was back when CKY days and Jackass was first coming out.
Yep.
And that's what I wanted to do. And I remember pointing at the TV and saying, Mom, this is what I want to do. I want to travel the world with my bros and do stupid shit. And she was like, oh, you know, funny. Okay, yeah, let's go for it. And but the second I tried smoking weed, I started to see my passion for all that slowly fading. And especially, like, the Hollywood dream from a small town in Connecticut seemed so far-fetched. So, you know, I start the partying and it just faded away. And then plus me being an attention whore and I need that feeling of, like,
Being wanted. And
I need to be
being
wanted.
accepted and, like,
Exactly. So then I start, like, okay, all my friends love smoking weed. I'm going to be the seller. I want to sell it to them because I want to feel needed.
Yeah.
Like, I want them to need me. So that's how it was. And my mom was the first person who told me how to sell drugs. Like, she taught me. She bought me my first scale, bought me some baggies, and was like, hey, if you want to smoke for free, put a little money in your pocket, bag it up in .8s, sell them for $20, and there you go, you know? And then me again, just like, I'm an extremist. I like to take everything to the next level. I just go overboard with it. And, you know, it's just the progression of smoking weed, drinking alcohol, LSD. Next thing I know, I'm eating acid with my mom. Next thing you know, like, it was a very quick progression. Yeah.
When did it really start to, like, kind of pick up and things started to kind of go crazy? Or where you really were like, oh shit, like, this is not working out for me?
Yeah, so when I turned 18, I got a pretty fat check for my father passing.
Oh, okay.
Got like close to $200,000. And growing up poor, and then all of a sudden an 18-year-old gets a $200,000 check
All at once.
all at once.
What'd you buy first?
The first thing I bought was a Chrysler 300.
Oh my God, those were like fucking ballin'.
Ballin'.
I remember those. Yeah,
First thing, and it was pearl white.
Okay.
I put Lamborghini doors on it.
Yeah.
Straight drug dealer type
Straight
shit.
drug dealer.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
living in the smallest town, and I'm like rolling down Main Street with my doors up, system blasting. Like, the town hated me.
Yeah.
But I just need that attention.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, I had TVs, like,
Oh, totally.
big ass rims. I was like having an identity crisis.
Yeah.
I just didn't know who the fuck I was.
Yeah.
And but at that point, you know, I was buying more toys than drugs at that point, like jet skis, cars, clothes, whatever I can, jewelry.
Yeah.
And I would buy pounds and pounds of weed. I was my best buyer, you know, like I was my best customer.
Yeah.
So it was just like, at that point, I was still able to control it, I think. But I think because I just had so much money, I thought I was controlling it. And then I graduate high school, thank God. And I start following like Fish around, going to festivals, like just
wow.
being like a festy head, and like
Okay.
that's where nitrous
Totally.
came into play, and
Yep.
and like just following Fish all over the East Coast, and just being like, I had no responsibility. I didn't care about, like, I had the same mentality that my mom had of like, fuck the law, fuck
yeah.
the man, like, don't trust anybody. Like, it's like, you have to survive or you're gonna die. Like, I had that mentality, and plus I just have so like much drugs, and I'm just like, before getting sober, I never had a job. Like my first time paying taxes was like 3 years ago.
Crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just like I didn't know what life was.
Yeah.
And then when Percocets, like the opiates, came into the picture, that's when it was like the first time I tried a Percocet, it was like that feeling of like I've been looking for you my whole life.
Sure.
Yeah.
It was like a warm blanket.
Yeah.
You know, it was like a
Totally.
security blanket.
Yeah.
I know that one.
And that's when the progression of like Percocets to Oxys to Xanax was so quick. And I'm maybe 20 years old.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 20.
Too young.
And I remember saying like, I'm never gonna do opiates. I like to myself all the time. Okay, weed is fine. You know, acid's fine. Molly's fine, but I'll never touch opiates. But the second that I tried it, it was game on. Game on, and I'm starting to like sell everything that I bought with that money. I'm like driving to Staten Island to get them for half price and bringing them back to Connecticut to sell them to my friends. All my friends' parents hate me.
Oh my.
And God, I turned into like the biggest piece of shit.
For sure.
Like I hurt a lot of people. I did a lot of fucked up things, and it was like a very dark time, and it was just like so quick. So fucking quick. Next thing you know, I'm selling my cars. Like I traded I had a Dodge Magnum after the Chrysler, and I gave the pink slip to my drug dealer for like 2 ounces of crack, 100 perk 30s, and like $1,000 cash. And my brain, I'm like, I'm just gonna do a little bit of the crack,
Yeah.
sell the rest. Just do a couple of the 30s, sell the rest. Use that cash. I'll buy a beater car, get myself an apartment. I was locked in a hotel for 3 days, and I smoked all of the
totally.
crack.
Not normal thing.
Not a normal thing at all.
We're missing Shane because he did the same thing. He sold his Hummer for
His Hummer, $7,000 worth of crack.
which is insane. An $80,000 car
Yeah.
for 7 G's of crack.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Not firing on all cylinders.
Yeah. It's insane. Like
He rolled a fucking couch out of his house, rolled it down. He lived in Canada at the time, and the fucking ice fucking cold. Rolled his couch down to the. Did he take it to the pawn shop?
I don't know. Probably.
yeah, I'm
I
very
mean-
familiar with pawn shops.
Dude, crack is freaking crazy, man. Do people still smoke crack?
I think. I mean, if
You don't-
you
if
don't-
I
you
was
don't-
still using, I'd probably be smoking.
Sure.
You don't
crack
hear
still.
about it like you did
No,
in
you're right.
the see I'm a 90s drug
Yeah.
addict, and crack was fucking
booming.
booming.
Yeah.
But I was a meth head, so like before I found the needle, we were like, man, these crackheads, dude, they'll steal all your shit, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you could kind of
yeah.
still function as a meth if you just smoked meth until you
I don't know.
hit that needle, man.
See,
and
I'm
then
not.
It was like,
I don't. My whole motto is like, if I could rig it, I can dig it.
yeah.
So it's like if I can put it in a needle, I'm not doing it any other way.
That was
Point blank period.
That was what happened when I turned 18. I was listening to your story, and when she said that, I was like, yeah, my life went downhill fast, and it got really crazy when I stuck the needle in my arm. Because it was that day. So I got that warm blanket twice. The first time I did a line of speed, they called it back. This was in 1988. I did it, and I was like, whoa. Why didn't somebody tell me about this before? This is exactly what's missing from my life.
Oh yeah.
And then I got that warm blanket again when and I'd been a drug addict ever since that day of that first fucking line, and it progressed. But when I went to my dealer's house a little bit drunk after, and he was spinning all methed out, and I knew he was an IV meth user. And I said, I was kind of fucking drunk. And I said, do you have a brand new one of those? And he was like, I do. I said, I just want to try it one time. Just one time.
Just once.
Yep. Game on.
Game on.
It was
Yeah.
it was the best feeling I ever felt in my life.
Yeah. It's like it blocks away every insecurity
Yeah.
you've ever had.
Yep.
Yep.
And it blocks away any feeling you've ever had. And like, us as alcoholics and drug addicts, we hate to feel.
Yep.
Like we like to numb our problems.
Yep.
And that's what it's all about, and it took me a very long time to realize that, because at first I'm getting high because I like the feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's what I thought for so long, which is
sure.
a part of it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's just like I have so many insecurities, so many fears. I don't like feeling, and I just like being numb.
Yeah.
And plus, childhood trauma, and that,
All the things, yeah.
all the above. And
Yeah.
it's, I mean, even in my sobriety, I consider myself an extremist. Like I just go
Oh yeah.
above and
I'm
beyond.
still extremist for sure.
Yeah, and that's what I did. I just took things way too far, and it just got the typical saying, the cliche saying, like your deeper just gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and which is true. And there was points where I thought this can't get any deeper. Like the next shovel out is like death, but it just kept going. And at that point in my life, I was cool with it. I guess like I accepted it.
Yeah.
And like I didn't care anymore.
Were you still in Connecticut?
Yeah, so, man, it was like, I would go back. I tried going to college in Florida. I went to Full Sail University to.
Oh my God, I totally, yeah.
Yeah, and
we would perform at Full Sail. For,
oh, really?
Like, for NXT, like at the time, like the developmental for WWE, like they would host our wrestling shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly where that is.
Yep.
Okay.
And I made it 3 months.
Which makes sense because they're very high, like TV camera production type school.
Yeah. So that's what I was trying to, and at that point it was music.
Yeah.
I was trying to do sound engineering.
Okay.
Because I still didn't know, like that passion of video camera and editing and just entertainment that I wanted to do was still kind of in me, but I didn't know which genre that I wanted to go to.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was so in love with music. I was having an identity crisis.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I want to be a rapper.
Sure.
This is like 2009.
Yeah.
Like everybody on the East Coast wants to be a rapper. And like, I was like, okay, like I want to be a rapper. And I was just like, I look back at that time and it's so cringy to me. And like, I have one CD that I made that will never see the light of day because like it could probably get me canceled. So it's just like, so I just like, it's in my safe, just
In
like,
your vault?
yeah, in my vault.
Yeah.
Nobody will ever hear it. And so I quit college. And the fucked up thing about that was that money that I got from my father, I paid my tuition all cash. It was like 90 grand all cash. And when I dropped out, they wouldn't give me any money back.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I like, whatever. And then so I go back north and I'm like couch surfing from Connecticut to Burlington, Vermont, going back. And when I got to Burlington, that's when like shit really hit the fan because I'm like seeing a girl who I'm like living at her house with their parents. We're both shooting dope. Like they own like a drive-in movie theater and they're like hiring me and her are just shooting dope in the lobby.
Oh my
Like it was just like really, really bad. She's overdosing at the parents' house and like, it's just like, who else could they blame,
Yeah,
so it's just me and obviously they're kicking me out. So I had like a 98 Ford Escort, huge downgrade from the Chrysler,
Yeah.
So I'm like, I have like a 98 Ford Escort hatchback. So I'm like sleeping in the hatchback, like driving around Burlington and I can't, and drugs up north, like the closer you get to the border of Canada, the more expensive they are because the longer the longer it takes to get to wherever it's going, the more expensive it gets. And, so like a bundle of dope in Burlington would go for like $150, where if you go to Harlem, you're paying $30.
Oh wow.
So
huge markup.
Yeah. So what I did is I got pretty close with the mules, and I became a mule myself, and that's what I was doing for the longest time. I was going back and forth to Harlem. Every few days, I'd pick up a backpack, I'd drive back to Burlington, and then eventually I'm the runner and. Shit just hits the fan, and I'm talking like anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000 worth of heroin, maybe $10K worth of crack, a couple guns, and I'm just the mule doing this, and I'm so addicted to heroin that like on my way back from Harlem, I'm stopping at truck stops, just like sticking needles in my arm, just not giving a fuck. So it was just super gnarly, and that operation got shut down pretty quick, and I'm just all over New England, just like sleeping in the car. And
How old are you at this time? Around
25.
Okay.
Yeah. And my friend group, it was me, my buddy Tom, and my buddy John. And Tom had gotten arrested for some B&E. He like broke into a gun store, tried to get guns. My buddy John, he was like a computer nerd, one of the smartest dudes I've ever met. Wouldn't hurt a fly. And me, I was just the junkie stealing from everybody. And I had checked myself into a 30-day rehab in Brattleboro, Vermont.
Was that your first time checking yourself into?
No.
Or trying to get sober?
No.
Okay.
No. I've been trying to get sober since maybe 23 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And it was never for me. I was either doing it for courts or for mom, or it was never for me.
Get the heat off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I checked myself into that 30-day. And the day, you're not allowed to have your phone, no communication. And the day I get out, I get my phone, and my phone's blowing up. John had overdosed, and he's in critical condition up in Burlington, which is maybe a 3-hour drive from Brattleboro. And so I'm flying up to Burlington, and I get to the hospital, and I walk up to the front desk. I'm like, I'm looking for John. They're like, he's not in our system. And I'm like, well, no, everybody's telling me he's here. He's in critical condition. And I look, the look on her face just went so dark. Oh. And she said he had just passed 10 minutes ago.
Oh my gosh.
And this dude was like a brother to me. And so if I get chills every time I talk about this. So, and that fucked me up so bad where I'm familiar with Burlington. I know all the spots. Yep. So I go get some shit, and I drive back to the hospital in the parking lot, and I overdose in the car. Was it on purpose? I don't know. People ask me that all the time. Were you trying to kill yourself? And I say, I don't think so. I think I just wanted to numb myself. And the way that I like to get loaded is I like to touch the line of death. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't like anything, but I like to touch it.
Yeah.
And I overdose, and this stranger just happened to walk by, just happened to have Narcan on him.
Oh my gosh.
My door happened to be unlocked, and he opened the car, hit me with Narcan, got me back, and I'm like, and he just walks away, and I'm like coming to, open my eyes, and I'm like, yo, dude. He just turns around, smiles, and just keeps walking.
Dude, that's fucking God.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
Ugh, I get chills every time I talk about it. And I have 15 overdoses under my belt. And I always ask for the longest time in sobriety, I always ask myself, like, why me? Because I've hurt a lot of people. Yeah. I've done a lot of fucked up shit. And the life that I've been given, just, like, I'm still a baby in sobriety.
Yeah.
I'm still a baby. And the life that just kind of fell on my lap, it's like survivor's guilt, mm-hmm. kind of. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, why me? I was having such a hard time wrapping my head around that, because like John, one overdose, passes away. The sweetest kid on earth, so smart. Like we were like, he was too smart for his own good. Like this is back when like Bitcoin was $100 a Bitcoin, and we're like using Bitcoin to buy heroin from Silk Road. And this dude's like, this dude's like such a genius, but he's using it for all the wrong reasons. Mm-hmm. And I just, it fucked me up so much to like have him just pass from just one, and like I have so many, and I hurt so many people, and then the moment I get sober, this life just kind of fell on my lap. And it took a while. It took like 3 or 4 years for me to like get over that survivor's guilt.
Well, one, I can tell you, when you got sober, your life did not just fall into your lap. It requires somebody to do the work. It's not just going to happen for you. And clearly you spoke about 12 steps. So I'm assuming that you started working a 12-step program. And that's kind of the promises of doing the 12 steps, with all the actionable steps that are required for it, for the promises to actually come to fruition. Yeah. And that's what I see in your life. And also you have to ask if you're going to ask yourself, like, why me? Why not you?
For sure.
Why not you? Because it's like having somebody sit across from me in leopard, Italian man, giving so much hope to the kid that is out there running and gunning in a mule, or doing 10 times worse things than anyone at this table. So it's like you have to play the devil's advocate too, and ask yourself, why not you? For sure.
And that's kind of where I have I've been starting to look at it that way. Mm-hmm. And when I say the life kind of landed on my lap, like the last sober living that I got kicked out of before I got sober, mm-hmm. I was one of those type of clients where it's just like, yo dog, you want to go get loaded with me?
Yeah.
Like piece of shit. And
I was terrible too. I
Yeah.
failed all my drug tests going into treatment.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible person.
Yeah, because misery loves company.
Yeah,
so
for
it's just
sure.
like I want,
Yes.
yo, bro, like let's
Yes.
fuck this place, let's go. I'm that
Yes.
type of client.
Yeah.
And so I convinced 2 guys to leave,
Mm-hmm.
and we're sitting out in the front waiting for our Uber, and the house managers walk out. They're like, yo, what the fuck are you guys doing? And the house managers convinced those 2 to stay, and then they're like, Vinny, what are you doing? I'm like, all right, well, if they're staying, I'll stay. They're like, ha, funny, get the fuck out. So I'm like, all right, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of money. I'm going to go get a hotel room. I'm going to get loaded by myself. Fuck you. And as I'm waiting for my Uber, I get this very warm, vivid whisper behind me that sounded exactly like John. And the whisper said, enough is enough. And it scared the shit out of me. It scared me enough to like where I was like, I'm not going to get loaded tonight. I'll wait till tomorrow. But I didn't have like I didn't want to go to a hotel, so I called the program director and I was like, "Yo, dog, one more shot, please." Just knowing that I'll get loaded tomorrow. Please, just give me one more shot. He was like, "All right, man, this is it, last one." He sends me to this house called Designed for Recovery in West LA.
And how old are you at this point?
I'm 30.
Okay.
Yeah, this is 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, or no, this was the end of 2000. No, February 1st, 2018.
Okay.
And he sends me to this house in West LA called Designed for Recovery. And I walk in and I see my now close buddy, Jackass. You might know him. He was in the last Jackass movie.
Okay.
He had at that time, he had a pretty big online presence. I love the culture, so I already knew who he was. And I had this heartogram tattoo that I had gotten covered up recently. And he's like, oh, is that the heartogram? I was like, yeah, dude. He's like, oh, all right, me and you are going to be friends. And so we just hit it off right away. And at the time, he needed a filmer.
Wow.
And so he was like, and I'm talking, this is a week of me being in the house. No plan on doing the steps. No plan on staying sober. No, nothing. He needed a filmer. So I was like, dog, like, this is what I do. Like, I'm a filmer. And I know the culture. I know it. Let me be your filmer. He's like, all right. He's like, yeah, we'll test it out. And the first video I filmed for him, we attached a boxing glove to a gas-powered remote control car. And we go to Venice Boardwalk, and he sits down, spreads eagle, and we drove the car 30 miles per hour into his nuts. And as I'm filming this, I'm like, man, this feels so familiar. Like, I love this. Like I'm having fun filming.
Yeah.
And it just felt so familiar because that's what I loved doing when I was younger. And we post it, and the next day the video goes fucking nuts. And I didn't have an Instagram at the time, so he's like, "Dude, you have to start an Instagram. You gotta do your thing." We post a video. My Instagram's attached to it, and like all these people who I grew up idolizing are commenting, liking, like, and my name's attached to it. And I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" I'm in LA. I didn't come to LA to get sober. Like, I came to LA because it's easier to be homeless.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah, the weather's
Weather's much better.
yeah, like that was my okay. So in Connecticut, I'll backtrack a little bit. In Connecticut, the last 3 years of my homelessness, I slept in a handicap-sized porta potty.
Ew, no.
3 years.
Bro.
3 fucking years I slept in that thing.
I can't go into a porta potty sober.
Tell me about it.
Fuck.
I know. 3
Struggle.
fucking 3 fucking years I slept in that thing, and I was comfortable. I was chilling. Fucked up, right?
Yeah.
And like all I cared about was if I had my Obama phone to watch Netflix, my mom's my mom's Netflix account. I had rigs and dope. That's all I cared about. The next morning I go to Dunkin' Donuts, charge my phone, and at this point, like I'm not selling drugs, I'm not doing anything. I'm just like trying to survive. So my whole get down would be I would go to grocery stores and I would just walk in with a shopping cart, fill it with Monsters and Red Bulls to the fucking brim, and walk out like I owned the place. And I'd go a couple blocks down the street to the local bodega and sell them for $1 a can. That was my whole get down every fucking day. Up the shoreline at Connecticut, I'd hit every fucking grocery store.
God.
And I was doing that for years. Eventually got caught.
Yeah.
You know, my picture was all over the fucking walls, all over Connecticut, you know, like, and that was my get down. And while I was in that porta potty shooting up, one of my old homies hit me up. Somehow he found my number. He's like, yo, I heard you're struggling. I'll fly to LA. You got to get sober. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll take your flight.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I'll go to your rehab for a day, you know? And so that's how I got out here.
Wow.
Just because it was easier to be homeless. That's it.
Wow, that's actually wild.
Yeah.
So then you got out of rehab, you're filming, you make your Instagram. So at this stage, how many days do you have?
So that house, Designed for Recovery, where I met Zach, that's the house where I got sober and stayed sober. And now I run.
Shit.
I run a bunch of their houses.
Okay,
Yeah.
get it.
So his name's Derek Eckley. He's been my mentor. He knew that my passion for entertainment was so big that he was like, dude, I'll let you go travel the country, film with Zach, do what you got to do. As long as you stay sober and you're honest with me, you have a place to stay.
Wow.
And he let me work there, and it was like I had 9 months sober when he was just like, yo, just be the van driver.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to pay rent. I had no more insurance at the time. He's like, you don't have to pay rent, just be the van driver. And then it was like, next thing you know, I'm a house manager, probably like 1 year sober, and still didn't do the steps. Still fucking dry.
Sure.
And I'm like running house meetings where I'm like,
totally.
you got to do the steps, guys. You have to do the steps. Like, it's so important. While I haven't done shit.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, my morals are starting to come back, and I'm like starting to feel guilty that I'm preaching my guys to do something when I haven't done them. That's when I started the steps, when I had about a year sober. And but from day one to a year, it was like every couple months, it was like a snowball effect of like videos getting bigger, people hitting us up, Bam hitting us up, flying us to his castle, like dude, I had posters of Bam and Steve in Knoxville on my wall.
Like, how is that though? Like, that has to be a crazy moment for you to all of a sudden be working with these guys that you essentially idolized. And then all of a sudden now they're hung up in your, like, on your wall in your room or wherever. And then now you're literally in face to face. Like, that has to be an experience.
So that first time that we went to Bam's, and when we got there, he was having a party. And he was like, come to the party, and then you could stay a couple days after. So we get to the party, and his baby mom's at the time, Nikki, she walked by and she recognized me, and she's like, oh, hey, dude. Hey, Vinny. And I was just like, the fuck? Like, how? I'm maybe 6 months sober.
Yeah.
6 months ago, I was on fucking Skid Row.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. So I'm just so like, what the fuck is going on? I can't explain it. And it was just, I mean, even today, I still don't know. Like last year I traveled the world with Steve.
Yeah.
And fans in like Manchester, like in London, are like screaming my name. It's just like, I'm still like, what the fuck? How did I get here? Like, I just don't know. And I just like, and I still go back to like, bro, I'm a baby in sobriety 7 years ago, I was in a porta potty.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? It's very strange.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely a pinch me type life because of total extremes, from literally Skid Row to porta potty life to then now you're filming and working with people that you admired and wanted to do when you were 15 years old.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
I went home to visit my mom about 1.5 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. And she was like, she brought up the memory of me pointing at the TV.
Yeah.
When it was October 2001 when the first episode of Jackass came out. And she was like, hey, remember when you pointed at the TV and you said, hey, Mom, this is what I want to do? She goes, you're not just doing it, you're doing it with the people that you pointed at, which is nuts. It's fucking insane. It took over 10 years of homelessness, drug addiction, robbing, stealing, hurting people to get where I'm at. And people ask me all the time, like, do you have regrets? And I say no. Like there are some things that I've done where like the one maybe regret that I would have is like I stole my mom's wedding ring that my father gave her to pawn it.
Yeah.
But even then, like I feel like if any small decision or small thing that I've done, like it would change the trajectory of my life.
Sure.
And I look in the mirror and I'm like, dude, you're pretty rad. Like I could like look at and be okay with who I am today. So it's like I have no regrets. Yeah.
For sure. And like what's crazier about it is like you traveling with Steve-O last year, right? Well, now this person that you used to watch in 2001, I mean, this dude now is sober.
Yeah.
And works from what he talks about.
A solid
things-
program.
Yeah.
He works a solid program.
From what I've, like, when I listen to anything that he says, it's pretty awesome. And then that's who you're ending up kind of right next to, which is wild, because to say this happened in 2005 or 2001, no good.
Yep.
You wouldn't be ready. Neither would he.
Yep.
For you guys to have a relationship of any type of, you would have probably ruined it somehow.
Exactly.
You know?
100%. You know, and it's just, like, I love Steve so much. He's given me a lot of opportunities. He's changed my life in so many ways. And not just, obviously not just financial,
Sure.
but just the memories and experiences that I've had. Like, the first time I've ever left the country was with him when we went to Australia. And I'm a felon, so I can't get into certain countries.
Right.
So and Australia is one of them.
Australia's one of them.
Yeah, Australia is one of them.
Yeah.
And it took months, probably 6 months of working with an attorney that he paid for. And to get me in. And we got in, and we were there for about a month, and it was just like one of the craziest moments of my life. You know, it's insane. All of us in the van are sober. So it's like, it's just like a couple sober dudes traveling in a van, interviewing pretty rad people. And this thing that we do has been able to take us around the world, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
How often are you guys doing like podcasting in the van?
Every podcast that we do is in the van.
I know.
Okay, let me.
Okay, you guys are going to have to come down here.
Yeah. So
Come podcast us in the van.
dude, I'd be down.
I want to do it.
I'd be so down.
And I hear nothing but good things about Steve-O.
He's the best.
Like, I hear that he's just really a cool dude.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be lying if I said it's stressful at times.
Oh, I bet.
He's a huge perfectionist,
yeah, of course.
and it could be pretty stressful. But what we do is really important to us,
Yeah.
and we take a lot of pride.
Well, and also you have to think, like, who you're dealing with. You guys are not normal. Like, addicts and alcoholics are not normal
I
people.
know.
So, like, you're, like, every single individual is, like, an extremist of some degree.
Yeah.
And obviously it's a variance of variety in there.
Yeah.
But, like, usually what we've noticed is, like, when the addict or the alcoholic can, like, get sober and then find what they love to do and what they're passionate and, like, purposeful and all the things, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's like you're creating these little, like, beasts out there. So
Yeah.
it's like you guys have, unfortunately, but fortunately, like, a combination of all of that intertwined. And so you have to kind of be able to manage that, like, extremeness. Like, sometimes I'm the boys are always make fun of me because I'm always, like, a level extra 10, right? Like, I'm always, where sometimes they'll look at me like, geez, sit the fuck down. Like, can you be quiet?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But it's being able to kind of try to balance as much as you possibly can. But it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on top of that, we have to deal with Shane on a daily basis.
Yeah.
He's not here today
that's
because
very
he
true.
literally was going to come in sick. And he said, he texted us and it was like, dude, I took a shower and feel like shit.
You fucked up, Shane.
He did fuck up. He fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard this before, where us as alcoholics and addicts, we are the only people that are lucky enough to. It's the only disease where, if we come out the other side, we come out better than what we were before.
Yeah.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And on top of it, if we're lucky enough to find what we love to do,
Totally.
it's sprinkles on the cake.
Big time.
You know, and when I heard that, I was like, damn, that makes so much sense. And, you know, it took a very long time for me to, like, understand why it was me. You know, like, and this might not be the reason, who knows, but this is what I like to think, and I think it helps me throughout my journey, is like, I have been given this life with a platform to use my story as some sort of beam and of hope or whatever to people that struggle with the same shit that I do.
Yeah.
And they could see this fucking lazy asshole piece of shit go from that to this in a very short amount of time. Granted, I do say sometimes that I am very lucky, and I feel like how it happened with me is like luckier than winning the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see me, and like it's possible.
For sure.
You know what I mean? It's like I don't know how, I don't know why. It's just possible.
No, totally.
Yeah.
It's incredible. That's why I think that that's the beautiful thing about the program is that, well, one, addiction and alcoholism, it doesn't discriminate, doesn't matter where you're from or who you are or how you were raised.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's times 10 with how you recover as well,
Mm-hmm.
because it does provide hope, and that's the beauty of the 12 steps, as well as like a social media and the platform that God has given all of us to be able to use our voice to shine just a little glimmer so that somebody can kind of, in the depths of despair, look at one of us and see hopefully a little bit of them, and like, well, shit.
Yeah.
If that dirtbag was able to get it together, you know, like maybe there's a chance for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, it took me a long time because all the cliches are true. Like I used to really get irritated when I would go into meetings, you know, just like with a salty attitude and all the things. And I would just like, one day at a time. Okay. Or like, keep it simple, stupid, or like let go and let God, all the things that are, and keep coming back. Like or it's a simple program.
Or living your life beyond your wildest
Oh
dreams.
my God, totally. Or the promises.
The promises.
It's like, shut the fuck up. Or like, I'm a grateful alcoholic.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, shh. And then, you know, fast forward, it's like, it's exactly what they said at the very jump.
Yeah.
And it's wild. Or like, if you work it, it works.
Yeah.
But that's like really with anything in life. Like everything requires actionable steps, you know, from working out to eating healthy to, if you want to read more books, well, you got to turn a page.
Yeah.
You know, like everything requires action. It's just the
Or hit the play button on your audio book, because that's what I do.
well, that takes action. That's an actionable step, but
you like that, didn't you, Emily?
But I think it's beautiful, and I think that like I'm so happy for you.
Oh,
I
thanks,
really am. Like you seem like such a genuine dude that is very much. It's funny because I get it from like having a little bit of guilt of like why all of these like amazing things kind of started to happen for you.
Yeah.
But you know, that's just because you showed up and put one foot in front of the other.
Yeah. When I got sober, I didn't know how to live life.
Yeah.
I had to, like, I didn't know how to shake somebody's hand properly.
Sure.
I couldn't look in somebody's eyes while having a conversation with them. I didn't know anything. Mm-hmm. So I had to start from the bare bottom and just like, and just listen, really. You know, it's, I hate authority. I hate taking direction. Us as alcoholics, we think we know what's best.
Totally.
You know, so it's just like who the fuck are you? Like, you don't know what's best for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, I tell my guys at the houses now, I'm just like, you don't know what's best for you, because if you did, you wouldn't be sitting across from me right now and having this conversation with me. You're
not good at running the show because you wound up here.
Exactly. And that, and it gets me so frustrated because I'm like literally like drawing a treasure chest, like a map to the treasure, like telling these guys how to get to the treasure. Mm-hmm. And it's so frustrating, but I have to like keep reminding myself that was me. And because I just hate taking direction. And I think with Derek, you know, my mentor, I had this weird like trust that I'd never really felt before, and like I kind of trusted him into just like steering my ship a little bit. Mm-hmm. And he was just like, look, dude, as long as you're honest, as long as you're transparent and you stay sober, you can go do whatever you want to do.
It's amazing.
And my entertainment career started in sober living. I stayed in sober living for 3 years.
Amazing.
And every year it was like, oh, I got a year sober. I got this. Mm-hmm. I can go. I have a little bit of money. I can go support myself. And Derek was like, why? Like, you have it so good here.
Smart. Yeah, totally.
You have it so good here. Why would you ever leave? I'm like, oh, okay, fine. 2 years. 2 years sober, I'm killing it. I did the steps, I'm killing it. Like I have money in the bank, I'm killing it. I'm gonna move out. Why, dude? Like you're not paying any bills. All you pay for is your fucking cell phone. Like what do you like? Why?
No, for sure.
And again, I'm like, oh, okay, fine. And like everything that we have done to our careers, like to get to where they are now, happened in sober living while I'm on a bunk bed, top bunk, closer to God. You know,
Yeah.
Everything that happened there. And then 3 years came, or before that, you know, around like when I was there for 2 years. It was around the first time I had met Steve. I was producing a podcast called Rip Ride with Andy Roy.
Okay.
And Steve was a guest, and he had said something that he stayed in sober living for around 3 years. And the only reason why he did is because he said, the longer you stay in a structured environment gives you the best chance at long-term sobriety.
True.
And when he said that, I was just like, oh, man, that makes so much sense. I hate it, but okay. I get it. So I ended up staying 3 years, and I left in mid 2020, like during COVID.
Oh shit.
And I just traveled. I like drove around the country a couple times, met with a bunch of influencer buddies, and just filmed. And I got accepted to be part of this, like my first big media project called Send It City.
Nice.
And then it was just that's where I did my first like major viral video, where I was skating down this ramp and just face planted into the ramp, like this metal ramp.
Oh
like my
my
nipple rings got ripped out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was when I did that stunt, like obviously I wasn't trying to slam.
Yeah.
I was like, the goal was seeing a fat dude in slow motion fly through the air is magical.
Right.
You know,
right,
so
right,
like,
right,
and I could
right,
skate a little
right.
bit, so I'm just like, okay, I can make it
Yeah.
down this and like hit the ramp, and I just got speed wobbles a little bit right before I hit the ramp, and I just face planted and flipped into the water.
What was it, like a quarter pipe?
No, it was it was plywood, not even like attached to anything. It was plywood going down a grass hill.
Yeah.
And we put like a dirt bike jump
Oh my gosh.
and plywood on the dirt bike jump right in front of a lake, like a man-made lake that we made.
Were you supposed to land in the lake?
I was supposed to land in the lake. I was supposed to just fly off the ramp on my skateboard and like a fat dude flying through the air. And then like I got speed wobbles. I face plant. My nipple rings ripped out, and I flipped. Like I hit the ramp, and I was going so fast that I ended up flipping into the water. As soon as I hit the water, I was like making sure none of my arms are broken, my legs aren't broken. Like the worst thing was my nipple rings, and
Do you still have nipple rings?
no.
I had to ask.
And as soon as my head came out of the water, I was like, man, that's the clip I've been looking for
Wow.
so long. I knew
You knew it, huh?
I knew it. And when I was able to post it, it spread like wildfire, like a few 100 million views over everything. Like everybody was posting it. And I was just like, I knew it. You know, it was just because you gotta like, before doing that, you gotta, when we do stunts or anything, we have to like weigh out the risk.
Oh,
reward.
right.
You know,
Of
it's
course.
just like,
am I gonna die?
yes, and if there's a chance I might die, obviously we're doing dangerous shit, but is the clip gonna be worth it?
Right.
And at that point, I was so hungry I was so hungry, and so I would just do anything, and like full body burns with no like professionals on set, you know, just like anything that I could do that I would do. Nowadays, it's 37 years old, no health insurance. I'm not like, I really, really have to weigh out the risk rewards. Like I don't even like skating anymore, just because like if I want to do something, I want it to be for a project or something. And, but I'm not going to be your backyard stunt guy. For Instagram anymore.
Right.
You know?
Things have
It has to be high production. It's got to be good.
Like I'm willing to let her throw me across the some type of WWE something.
Yeah.
So he can wind up in the hospital bed.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I've let some wrestlers fuck with me before.
I feel like
I've been thrown through a table and some light tubes and.
Oh, maybe you could suplex me onto the table, or is that not the right thing?
No,
you know the
you
one
suplex.
where
I can
you bring
suplex
them
you.
up,
Yeah.
and then drop me, and then you go
Suplex.
backwards. Yeah, that's a suplex, right?
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Are you familiar with like backyard wrestling?
A little bit.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of POR? They're like from the sticks of Virginia.
It sounds familiar.
They've gotten pretty big these last couple years.
Okay.
The leader of it
Sure.
is JJ Allen. Like his
Gay
wrestling
Allen.
his wrestling name is, I think it's Escobar or something.
Okay.
But I'm pretty good friends with them, and I would go to their backyard spot.
Oh, then
every
their
once in a
shit
while.
gets cray then.
Crazy.
Yeah. Backyard wrestling
Crazy.
ain't even like, that's a whole
yeah.
another level.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are actually really getting hurt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
really.
I mean, I know
getting-
people get hurt in the WWE.
Yeah.
For sure. Oh,
They
absolutely.
get hurt.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm good friends with Darby Allen.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Darby's the homie. I love
Yeah?
Darby. Yeah.
I know it's such a small world. Like it really is.
Yeah.
And the more that we do this, and like the more people that we meet, everybody knows like you're some type of separation of knowing somebody that knows,
And you're WWE, correct?
Yeah.
He's AEW.
Right,
I
right,
think.
right.
So it's
But
like
it's
different
like-
entity. Like
It is, but like the worlds collide because a lot of people from WWE have went over to AEW.
yeah.
So like Renee was our one of our announcers, and she's over at AEW announcing.
Yeah.
I was
So,
watching something on. I feel like I must have just been on ESPN on Saturday night or Friday night. No, Friday night when we were busy. Saturday, it must have been Saturday night when after that thing we went to, and some wrestling came on, and it wasn't WWE, but it was good. It was
Might have
good
been
shit.
NXT then, which is a form of WWE. I bet you it was.
Maybe it was NXT, which that
'Cause
that
now,
doesn't
like,
make it
they're-
as cool then.
now-
'cause
well,
that
it is,
that
like-
is still WWE.
But their developmental which was performed at Full Sail has now turned into like just another televised show that they put on because they're the talent is that good, and they've just utilized another
WWE, I heard now is being moved to Netflix.
Oh yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
That was just announced the other
They better
day.
get it together though, because that Jake Paul fight, like it was so many things wrong with like
Yeah.
the delays.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna have a live entertainment,
I was going back and forth from my living
Dude,
room
me
to
too.
my bedroom.
I watched
like,
the whole thing on my phone because it was like way easier.
Yeah.
because the TV would freeze.
Yeah.
I was
Ours
like,
did really well, our TV, but it never froze, but it pixelated really bad.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Yeah.
never was Jake Paul and Tyson completely clear
Oh,
on
that
my. It looked like
sucks.
1985 TV.
Well, I got pissed though because my TV. So I love entrances because like entrance is like the best.
The entrance was fine on mine.
Nope. It literally as soon as Mike was coming out,
Yeah.
it literally clicked out, and I was like, out of all the freaking times,
Yeah.
like this is where.
Did you see the it was like one of the pre-interviews for Mike Tyson where he the guy interviewed him for like a minute or two, and right when they were done, Mike was like, "I love you, kid," kissed him on the cheek and walked away, and he all he had was a jockstrap on, ass show.
Oh, yeah,
that
I
was
saw
his
that.
son.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was his son.
that
Oh, that was his son.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
That was his son.
Yeah.
And I was like sitting next to my wife, and I was like, "Wow, he just fucking mooned us."
Yeah.
He didn't give a he.
Mike's a savage. Like
Yeah,
I
love
love him
Mike.
because he does not give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like
He's one of the people that I've met where
oh really? Okay.
we had him on the podcast, and I wasn't a co-host at this point.
Yeah.
But I was there, and he's one of the only people I've met where I've fanboyed.
Okay.
I was so giddy, and I was like, I couldn't believe that I was acting like this because I usually don't like get
Trying to
crazy.
keep it cool.
Yeah, I was trying
Yeah,
to keep
yeah,
it cool, but I was like tripping that because he's a legend.
Oh my God,
Like,
totally.
I kind of got that. I ran into him on Jet Suite X.
Okay, I love Jet Suite.
Right?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I
it's
love
so
Jet
bomb.
Suite.
It's
Yeah.
so bomb. Like that's where
I mean,
it's
I don't
at.
want to tell everybody. I mean, I know everybody knows about Jet Suite X, but not everybody knows about
Jet Suite X.
Yeah.
Can you holler at me for an endorsement?
Yeah, for sure.
Like I would love
Yeah.
to take you up on
Like
that.
we'll go.
I will
We'll go to
publicize it,
Vegas.
No problem.
We'll go to Vegas. We'll go a lot of places
Yeah.
if you'll hit up Natalie.
Yes, please, because it goes in right into my hometown. It's
the best.
So I can go from Orange County to Concord, no problem now that I'm out here, which is like everything. So
It is the
holler at
best.
me.
It is the best, and like every time I go on, there's somebody cool on the plane with me. It was Mike Tyson the last time, not 2 times ago, and then the last time I went was the one of the top girls from Housewives, Orange County.
Oh,
I don't know their names.
I think we had one of them on the show too. I can't remember her name.
We had an older one on here a while back. I can't remember her name either.
You guys had Bam on
We
recently?
did literally
Friday.
Yeah.
It was Friday, and then we have an in-person like Recover Out Loud.
I saw
meeting.
that. Yeah.
And him and Danny were our guest speakers. It was good.
Oh, yeah.
It was good.
We did a Q&A
Yeah.
at the thing, and you know, I think I'm not sure exactly when we're gonna drop it, but I'm shooting for maybe this week. But of all the people, he has nothing bad to say about Steve-O. He loves Steve-O.
Oh yeah.
I know that. Yeah, I know. It's
He doesn't like anybody else.
I
but
know.
He likes Steve-O.
I
But
know.
you have
And
to think like there's so much just like it's. I don't think that he actually doesn't like anybody. I think that he has like a lot of hurt feelings that he has to sort
For
through.
sure, for
so
sure.
it's just like a lot of time.
Well,
that
yeah.
needs to be,
Yeah.
like sought out and a little bit of healing and a little bit of like work that he'll end up sorting. And
Yeah.
I think everybody will eventually at some point in time come back together.
Yeah, I don't want to get deep into it. I don't want to talk too much about it, but we had him on tour with us about maybe a year ago, maybe longer now, and it was nothing but the best. And it was again one of those times where I look around and I'm just like, how the
Sure.
fuck did I get here?
Yeah.
You know, it's just like I'm in a hot tub and like
Yeah.
I'm in a hot tub. Like Steve, you know, all the bros, and then like Bam's behind me, and he just like took his pants off and put his nuts on my head, and I'm just like, what the fuck is what the fuck? Like he's like, oh, you just got teabagged, bro. I'm just like what? Like it's so weird, you know? It's
That's so
strange,
crazy.
you know? And he's just like, yo, Vinny, dude, like come out and film this. I'm like, all right, what do you want to do? He's like, I just want to pee in my own mouth. I'm like, okay, sick. Yeah, great idea. Like, and we're just like, we were pulled over, like we pulled the tour bus over just so Bam could pee in his mouth. I'm just like,
Oh my god.
like weird. You know, like
yeah.
life is
How
life is
come-
weird.
How come? I mean, we have a BAM right here on our.
Oh yeah, we do.
You know why we don't do it? Because Emily refuses to film Shane naked.
I'm pretty sure that's an HR problem. Like how fucking a teabag.
Lewis,
Yeah, yeah.
Lewis, you're coming on tour.
Yeah.
Lewis will be like, Lewis will do it, but he ain't gonna enjoy
Yeah.
it in any way,
No.
shape, or form, right, Lewis?
I don't think so. I think that is.
See, our work, it's just constant nudity.
Yeah, Emily. I mean, Shane wants to get nude, but it's for all the wrong reasons,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
He wants all of us to see him naked.
Yeah.
He's from Canada. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He means I 99.9% sure he's harmless in all of his nudity. First time I met the motherfucker, he was naked.
Yeah.
Very first time
I like
met
the
him.
guy already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking butt ass naked coming out of a jacuzzi in a men's locker room at a gym.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, we don't do that in California. That's what I thought in my head. And I happened to be in rehab.
Yeah.
I was in rehab.
Yeah.
And this is how I met the guy. He's naked in the jacuzzi, and I was like, that's weird. I mean, it happens every once in a while, right?
Yeah.
There's foreigners that come and chill. Or there's just some people that like to get naked in the men's locker room. 2 hours later, I'm sitting in group, and the motherfucker walks in to lead the group. And I was like, okay, for sure we don't get naked in front of our clients. Because I had already owned rehab
Yeah.
for 10 years at this point in my life. So yeah, he is definitely a funny dude. He's our wild card. We love him.
I want to meet you. What's it? Shane, right?
Yeah.
Shane,
Shane.
yeah.
I know
I want to meet you,
he's bummed
Shane.
that he's not here, but he's under the weather at the
Yeah.
moment.
Like if he's got to be not like we saw him Saturday night, and
yeah, he's
I
not
literally wouldn't touch him. He's like,
well, I feel like I got like
Did you touch him?
I never touched Shane.
Did you fist bump him or do it
I don't
elbow?
even think I did.
Yeah. As far as nudity goes for us, it's like the way that we think of it. It's like, okay, we do something on video. It's funny, but it's even funnier if we're naked.
Right.
You know what I mean, it's like, it's like,
Shane agrees.
yeah.
Shane
Yeah.
110%.
Like so the first thing that I ever did that was like a naked thing, I was pretty, insecure,
Sure.
and, like a little nervous, and
Sure.
we're in Australia, and it happens to be one of my biggest videos, and but we had to take it down because of the nudity, and
okay.
and I wanted to preserve it, but so when I got locked up all those years ago, I do you know what a prison pocket is?
No.
Okay, a prison pocket is pretty much your asshole.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, so when I got locked up, I was so strung out on drugs, and I'm just like, I can't like be dope sick. So
Yeah.
I had to like train my butthole.
Oh yeah.
Into making sure I could bring shit into jail. And so I trained my butthole enough to where I was able to put a needle, 2 weeks worth of heroin, some tobacco, rolling papers, and a few Xanax bars.
That is a big fucking pocket, prison pocket, bro.
Yeah. So I was able
take cell phones in there.
Yeah,
iPhones.
Yeah. And so I was able to make a package and get past the guards, and I had all that good shit in jail for a little bit. And I told this story. Fast forward all these years, and I'm with Knoxville and Steve, and I tell the story of it, and Knoxville was just like so impressed. You know, he was just to this day he calls me Prison Pocket Vinny, and I wear that like a badge of honor.
Yeah,
you know, I'm just so stoked.
Yeah.
It's Knoxville. He's the captain.
Yeah.
And so fast forward a little bit, and we're on tour in Australia, and Steve just couldn't get the story of the prison pocket out of his head, so he's just like, dude, we have to recreate the prison pocket, and I'm just like, okay, like I'm not gonna say no to camera time, you know, like I'm an attention whore, and so, but we can't go sticking drugs up my butt anymore.
Yeah,
we're sober, and he's just like, nah, dude, like let's just go to 7-Eleven and just get a bunch of stuff, and I'm just like, okay. So we get some AAA batteries, espresso,
which batteries. Any hole of your body, not good.
Not good. Not one time not one moment through doing this video did we think it's not a good idea to
the biggest thing is like for babies, like because babies can like swallow a battery.
Yeah.
Like if your baby swallows a battery, it can blow up.
I had AAA batteries up my butt for 24 hours.
Oh my god!
but not just AAA batteries. I had 2 AAA batteries. No, 3 AAA batteries.
Bro.
2 espresso pods.
And the fucking heat. That's just
in Australia. So we're on a balcony with a gorgeous sunset in Australia, and I'm butt naked. And I made this package, and this package ended up being way bigger than the one that I did in jail. God. This thing is like this long, this wide, and I'm looking at this. I'm like, dude, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this, you know. Like, but I was like, I can't let the boys down.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta do this.
Yeah.
So I just lube up my butt and lube up the package, and I got that thing up there, and this is all on camera. Like this is like I do a show now where I show people this. And so I get it up there, and he's just like, so let's celebrate. And so we're like, let's go out to dinner. So we go out to dinner with this thing still up my butt, and I'm walking around. I'm not in pain, but I'm uncomfortable, and I'm like trying to
totally,
like, you know, and trying to fix it, and nothing's happening. So I go to the bathroom, try poking at it, nothing's happening. I go back to the table, and when I went to go sit down, all of a sudden I feel.
Oh my god!
Where it just went all the way up there, where I couldn't feel it anymore, and I'm in my head. I'm like, oh, I'm comfortable.
No, which
but
is
also,
horrible.
But
where'd it go?
Yeah, but now I'm like,
you're
oh
fucked.
no, I'm in the middle of Australia. If this goes bad, surgery, whatever might need to be done. But I'm trying to think. I'm like, okay, Steve isn't gonna let anything crazy bad happen to me. You know, like I'll be fine. And then he comes up with the idea of like, oh, dude, let's keep it up your butt for 24 hours, and then we'll go to a hospital, get x-rays, so you can show your mom when you get home.
Oh my god.
And I'm just like, I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Like, I'm down, sure. And so we're flying around in private jets. We're like all with this thing up my fucking asshole. And it was
24 hours.
24 hours.
And you got x-rays.
I slept with the thing in my butt.
God, bro.
Went to the hospital, got x-rays. Like I get to the front desk. I'm like, yeah, I'm on tour with Steve-O. We put some stuff up my butt, and the doctor's like giggling. You know, he's like, what do you got up there? And I was like, a pen, some Skittles, because I had a pen to represent the needle, Skittles to represent the Xanax, 3 AAA batteries for no reason, 2 espresso pods, and a piece of paper. And
oh my God.
So when I'm naming this stuff off to the doctor, and he's giggling, but when I got to the AAA batteries, smile went away.
Yeah, like you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
like you can blow up and die.
Yeah.
Like it can explode into your stomach.
Yes,
and that's battery acid, and you're dead.
Yeah,
like
but like the whole time I'm just like, oh my God, this is gold. You know, with the reaction to the doctor, you know, getting the X-ray, the footage, everything is gold.
Yeah,
so I'm stoked.
Oh my God, I could totally picture everything is like fine, idiot.
Yeah.
And mention battery, and the doctor's like,
bend the fuck over. We're getting like we gotta get this out of him now.
Yeah. So like we go take the X-ray, and like at first they wouldn't give us copies of the X-ray, so Steve had to pay an extra $1,000, like slip him some extra money so we can get hard copies of the X-ray. And then like we get out of the hospital. We waited a couple hours for the X-rays. They finally give it to us. We run back to the tour bus, and we're looking at it, and we're all giggling like little children, like, oh, look at that, you know, like. And we get to the venue because we had a show that night, and 24 hours are up, and I'm like, Steve, can I poop this out? And he's like, yeah, let me grab the camera. And so he's like filming me while I'm pooping.
Oh
and
my
like,
God.
I'm feeling poop,
But no package.
but no package, and I'm starting to stress. And you would think like this package was so big, I would be able to feel it come out, right? And I'm just like, Steve, this isn't coming out. And he's like, dude, just look in the toilet. Like, just see if it's in there. I'm like, dog, it's not going to be. I would feel it if it came out. He goes, nah, dude, just look. And I look, and it was there. So I didn't feel this fucking thing come out whatsoever. So I don't know what that says about my butthole. but I was so relieved that it came out. I undo the pack. I washed it
make
off.
sure that
I undo the
everything was in there.
package. I ate the Skittles, made coffee with the espresso pods. Put the.
Oh my God, what
Did
the hell was
anybody
the
have
video?
any of the
Wow.
coffee?
Oh yeah.
Everybody?
We all had some coffee. You know.
God, that's amazing.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's literally like
Yeah.
it's
Right?
literally
It's actually
like
dope.
jail.
Yeah.
If any of you guys have been to jail or prison and you've smoked weed or tobacco or done drugs, the likelihood it was up somebody's butt.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And I was so proud of this that I was in Australia with the bros, just did, and it also like it kind of reminded me of Ryan Dunn's old toy car bit, So for Steve to give me the green light to do something like that was kind of like a wow.
Yeah.
It was like really special.
For sure.
It's so funny.
And
it's so fucked up what I think is special, It's just like, oh man, Steve
Well, it's fucked up that I'm like, yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Like knowing that it's so perverse. Like,
Yeah.
So I have one question about Steve-O.
Yeah.
Does he still have a dick tattooed on his
He sure does.
right here?
He sure does. Yeah.
And he's proud of it?
He's proud of it. So the whole bit was he wanted to get it to see how long it would take for him to say, I want it gone.
Yeah.
And he loves it. And he has no plan on taking it off.
Because I noticed it the other day when I was, scrolling through reels, and I was like, he still has that dick tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
on his fucking right here.
Yeah. And it's above his eyebrow, and then he has cum drops.
Yes.
As teardrops.
Cum drops.
Yeah. And so you know how some people get teardrops, tattooed?
Oh my
It's
God.
cum drops.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's fucking funny.
Well,
Sorry.
you are gonna have to come with the boys and bring your guys' podcast over here because
Yeah.
I think that would be fun.
I'm down. I'll talk to the boys.
Okay.
Steve moved to Nashville, so
course
it's
he did.
like,
Why wouldn't he?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Tax reasons.
I know.
But
Nashville's amazing.
I know. So now it's like every time we film, like once a month, we'll go to Nashville.
Sure.
We have a podcast van out there too.
Oh, nice.
So it's us filming in LA is a lot less than what we used to.
For sure.
But yeah, I'll talk to the boys.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
Thank you. You're amazing.
Congratulations on everything, all your success, your
Thank you.
sobriety, most of all.
Yeah.
Because we all know without that, you wouldn't be sitting here today
No
or having the
way.
life that you have or being able to work with these guys.
Yeah.
Even though it's like, it is a dream.
For sure.
You are living the dream.
Yeah.
Especially being in 2001 and telling your mom. And then look at what you're doing. You're rolling around with batteries up your ass.
Yeah. It's so funny because like a lot of people that I grew up with or went to school with, a lot of them thought I was dead.
Yeah.
Just because they no contact, they didn't see me on Facebook or whatever, So like a lot of people thought I was dead, and then all of a sudden they start like I had a TV show, like they start seeing me on TV and like all this shit, and like next thing you know I'm getting DMs and they're like, "Bro, I thought you died." Like, look at you.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like they use like I had like we would have like watch parties of like Bam CKY on VHS,
Yeah.
Like we would have watch parties at my house with me and the bros, and they're just like, what?
Totally.
Like what
Insane.
the fuck? It doesn't make any sense. But it's yeah, life is very strange.
Yeah,
and
it
it's
is.
a wild ride.
It is a wild ride,
No pun
so
intended. Yeah.
Buckle up.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so
Oh, wait,
much.
that's
Yeah.
the name of the podcast.
Yeah,
He
that's-
threw that in.
Yeah.
That's why I said no pun intended.
Yeah.
Or no pun intended.
Yeah, pun intended,
pun
right?
intended, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all.